Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome once again, as always, to another helping of Mr H's Hot Pot. You join me today for day 18 of the UK lockdown, where I'm currently out and about taking my daily exercise. And it's now about 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm up at a sparrow's fart, as I like to say, Hot Potters, making this video and chatting to you. The reason I'm up so early is twofold. First of all, my little son Toby James, he had another bad night. We've been having a couple of good nights recently, but last night he just woke up about 11 o'clock in the evening and he just wouldn't get down. And it's just one of them things. So I've hardly had any sleep, really, as you can probably tell. So that's one of the reasons I'm up at this time. The second reason is I'm out and about trying to capture that deer that I mentioned and capture it on film for you. And I've not seen it this morning so far, so who knows, I may have failed. But on my way back, you know, when I'm returning, I may see it then, and if I do, I'll just tack it on at the end of this film. Hopefully I'll get to see that before the end of this lockdown period and show it you, because it really is a magnificent sight. When I first saw deer in these woods, I was just stood there, you know, it took my breath away. You know, it was across a path like this, which I'll show you. It was just stood there, and then it just moved off and made its way through the woods, and I was just amazed at what I'd just seen. I felt privileged to have been in that moment. Well, folks, how are you all doing? I hope you're all well, and I hope I find you in good spirits as always, as we move towards the end of the third week of lockdown. And did you take part in the NHS clap last night? You know, going out on your doorstep and showing your appreciation for the NHS and all emergency services throughout this pandemic. Me and Mrs H have taken part in every one so far, and it's good to see that they're gaining in popularity rather than decreasing. Normally with these type of things, people go out and they show their appreciation on the first one, maybe do the second one, and by the third one, you know, the novelty's worn off. That's not been the case, or it's not been in my area. I don't know, maybe some of you out there can leave comments below and say how it's been going in your area, but it's good to see that they're gaining in popularity. I mean, besides showing your appreciation for key workers, it also gets us as a community together a little bit, doesn't it? I know I've certainly spoken to, from a safe distance of course, and said, how you do, to neighbours that normally I wouldn't have spoken to and I didn't even know lived there. You know, because our communities tend to be very insular now, don't they? You know, people just are sort of dealing with their own lives. So maybe a good side effect of this pandemic will be that for a short while at least, we'll become like we was way back when, and we know our neighbours and we'll speak to them. So we'll have to see how that one goes. I mean, my own personal thoughts regarding the NHS long term is that this should have taught us that we really need to be investing rather than cutting back on the NHS. They're an insurance policy that a lot of us hope we'll never have to claim on, aren't they? You know, but the problem's been, I think, successive governments have tried to run them as a business. You know, and they've put top levels of staffing, you know, management levels that probably didn't need, who've been taking massive salaries. You know, that's how it appears it's been running. So maybe Boris Johnson, now that he's had a little dance with COVID-19 and realised just how vital the NHS is to the country, maybe he'll take a look at how it should be funded, and staff will be rewarded. You know, it'll start being run properly again. Now, last night's little vlog came at you very, very late. I'd started uploading it, and I think it only landed about 2 o'clock in the morning today, so I do apologise for that. The reason for that has been that my internet's running very, very slow of late. Don't know what's happening with that, why it's doing that, but it just seems to be running very slow. Now maybe it's just the amount of people that's on the internet at this moment in time, or it could be that the infrastructure hasn't as many people working on it at this moment in time. I mean, a lot of industries are now laying people off, aren't they? You know, the sort of telling people to stay at home if the job's not essential. But after all, they wouldn't be employed in the first place if they weren't essential to the business running. But yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble with the internet of late. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that. Please leave your comments below. But it was just grinding, as I like to call it. Now, what I'm going to do today with this particular video, just to make sure that it's not a problem with my equipment, because normally I use a laptop with Windows 7 on it, for no other reason than, number one, I'm old school when it comes to these things, and I don't like upgrading. I like what I like. And number two, it's just convenience. It's just easier for me. I know where everything is. It's one of those things. So instead of using my Windows 7 laptop, I have a small one of these like little notebook things with Windows 10 on. Not that I like Windows 10. And I'm going to try and use that one to upload this video and see if it does it any faster. When I was over in America, that's what I was using, you know, when I was doing the daily vlogs from Orlando. And they seem to upload like that. But, as I said, I think they had better Wi-Fi over there, and it was hotel Wi-Fi at that. A video like this, 10 minutes long, over in America, it'd upload within a couple of minutes. Over here, with my internet, it can take 3/4 of an hour. Well, that could be because Mrs H has devices. She likes to go on her iPad at night when I'm uploading videos and things like that. We've now got Disney Plus, so there's going to be a real battle in the H household, isn't there, for the old bandwidth. Yeah, Mrs H has been putting pressure on me, thanks Mike, to get Disney Plus. Mike, of course, as I've mentioned in previous vlogs, he's doing the old Disney challenge. He's trying to watch every film in the order as it was released. You know, as each year Disney released a film, he's trying to watch them in that order. He's got a fair old task on. There's a hell of a lot of content on there, but if it keeps Mrs H happy, who am I to argue? Who am I to argue? So, folks, what are you doing to keep your spirits up in week 3? You know, I use these little vlogs as a bit of a crutch to help me get through. But what are you using? What are you doing? And more importantly, have you got on top of those DIY projects? I haven't started yet, to be honest. I've paid them a little bit of lip service, and I've done a little bit of half-hearted attempts at them, but I haven't really made a start. I keep saying I'm saving them for a rainy day, but with this gorgeous weather, it doesn't look like I'll be starting anytime soon. You know, it's just one of those things, really, isn't it? It's just one of those things. Back when I was younger, I used to love doing DIY, and this period I would have used it to be really get stuck in and get things done, but not anymore. I don't seem to have the same whether or not it's becoming a father and spending time with my son and that, I just don't know. And those of you out there who've got kids, how are they holding up and how are they coping? As I said with Toby, we're having problems with him sleeping. It just seems to have totally spoiled the routine, which was a very good routine that we had going. Or it could just be he's at that age where he's going to do his sleep regression. I don't know. As always, leave your thoughts and advice below. So, folks, I'm now slowly working my way up to that 10-minute mark, that magic 10-minute mark. So, a big thank you once again to everybody who's commented on previous vlogs and probably will continue to do so. They have been quite popular, these, as I say, although they're not my normal shtick. So I do appreciate people. It seems I do have a loyal and regular following on these. And I do apologise that I don't answer each and every one of you, but it's just simply time constraints. What I try and do now is if somebody brings up a really good point or an important point, I'll try and bring it up in the vlog and mention you by name, as opposed to answering individual posts. But I do read every comment, and I do appreciate every comment. And it is good to see that although many of you have strong views on things that I've covered in these vlogs, the majority of you have been very respectful in putting those views across, so I do appreciate that. Of course, you always get one or two people who are either very strong in the views and they cross the line and become a little bit abusive, or they're just a bit of an idiot, and with those sort of people you've got to take action. But I don't like doing that. Anyway, folks, I'm going to wrap this one up here now, because as I say, it's coming up to the old 10-minute mark, and I don't want this to be taking something like 7 hours to upload. So, folks, until the next time, when it'll be day 19 of the UK lockdown, where I will be joining you once again. Stay safe as always, and bye-bye for now.